Hi, my name is Allyn Miller, and I am a parent coach with I Help Moms. And I know a lot of moms out there realize that yelling at your kids is probably not the best way to get things done or to communicate with your kids. And you're probably wondering, if I'm not yelling at my kids, what am I doing? I'm still gonna get mad, right? I'm still gonna get frustrated with things that are going on. What am I gonna do? What does it actually look like if I'm not yelling? So one thing that I would offer is to consider really getting close to your child, and maybe close enough so that you can look them in the eye. When you feel that anger and frustration reaching the boiling point, go to your child and get to their level. And if you can, look them in the eye. And there are a few reasons that this is really helpful. One is that if you get close enough to see your children in the eye, you'll probably realize that you don't need to raise your voice. You know, a lot of us just out of habit, like we yell over our shoulder, or, you know, there are other things going on. So we just shortcut and we yell because we're getting our voice to our children, but not our actual presence. So if you can get close enough to see your child's eyes, maybe you just don't have to raise your voice. Also, when you look someone in the eyes, especially someone as, innocent and vulnerable as your own child, there's a connection. And when you look at somebody in the eyes, that has usually a pretty calming effect. And it might be just that millisecond difference that you can catch yourself, and you just took a big breath and you were ready to yell. But when you see your child's eyes, you realize, okay, that's not what I want to do. And you just kind of you shift gears, and you might still be a little bit snippy. You might still be a little bit intense, but you're not full on yelling at your kid. So eye contact is one thing that can really help. Another thing that makes a huge difference is for you to just tell your child, I'm feeling really frustrated. And you know yourself, you know what your tendencies are. If you find yourself telling your kids again and again and again, I already told you 3 times, and then you yell, tell your kids, I've already told you 3 times, I am feeling so frustrated that you're not hearing my message. And letting them know how you feel and letting them know what you think might happen. I'm so frustrated right now. I feel like I'm about to yell. And if you tell your kids you think that's what's coming, then they might be able to respond differently. And you're giving yourself the signals that, okay, these feelings are happening, and I think that my next move is I'm gonna yell, but I'm still buying myself some time before I get to that point. So it is absolutely okay to tell your child, I feel so annoyed right now. You keep making that noise. I really want it to stop, and I'm so annoyed with that. You can tell them you're frustrated. You can tell them you're really exhausted. And whenever you're expressing how you feel to your kids, just make sure that you're not blaming them for how you feel. You get to feel whatever you're feeling and own it. Take responsibility for it. Don't turn it onto your kids and say, well, if you didn't do that, then I wouldn't be so mad. No, I feel really mad because this is what's going on for me. And so sometimes, yes, you can ask your child to take action to help, move things along. And if your child cannot or will not, again, you take responsibility, and you can tell your child, you know what, this is too much. I've got to go take a minute. I'm going to go help myself right now, and then I'll come back and see what we can do here. So those are 2 things that you might be able to do to help reduce the chance that you're going to just yell right at your kids. Seek them out, go to them, try to establish eye contact, and just tell them what you are feeling. When you say it out loud, you already start to feel a little bit better, maybe enough that you're not going to yell. And huge reminder every single time, taking care of yourself so that you're not going to yell at your kids is like hydrating. You don't just drink a gallon of water one day and say, all right, I'm hydrated, all done. You have to do it every single day. And there are going to be days where you're just not as successful and you get up the next day and try again. So managing your own stress and self-care is just like that. You don't just do it once and say, all right, I did it. It's every single day. You get to try again. You get to practice again, and you get to see how successful you can be. And don't be down on yourself if it doesn't work. We're all human. So you get up the next day and you try it again. I hope this is helpful. And if you are looking for more specific help on managing your stress, looking into your self-care, or figuring out how to express your anger or other big emotions so that your kids are not taking the brunt of it, definitely find me on ihelpmoms.com. Take care.